1994 came about, and I remember being on a radio show in St. Louis, and the news came down on the wire that CBS Sports had lost the NFL to Fox. Oh my God, what are they gonna, Bart Simpson's gonna do the play-by-play, and they're gonna have, this is gonna be a joke.
Hello, folks, I'm Terry Bradshaw. This is a great moment. We would like to welcome you to the NFL on Fox. That's right, you heard it right.
Same game, new attitude. That was David Hill's mantra. And boy, was that ever the case.
David Hill was the patriarch of Fox Sports.
He understood early on that it was about entertainment.
Watch Big Nate, right there. Boom.
David Hill had a bunch of crazy ideas.
Having the most vital information on the screen in the top corner. Back then, they were laughed at. Now you can't watch a game without having that information. It's odd to not have it.
And then when I think of Fox, I always think it's been audio. I think the audio, the sound, taking you inside the game.
319! You're dead! Toss to White. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
I think Fox changed the entire feel of how TV sports is digested.
I think I changed the NFL by once I put that uniform on, it was almost like I was Superman.
He must be the greatest receiver. He's a bad man.
For a very long time, every receiver that's played the game has envisioned, doing something that Jerry Rice did great while he was playing. He was just the standard for the position.
Young drops back to throw. Goes for Jerry Rice. Touchdown 49ers! And Rice is there. And he's into the end zone. He's done it. Jerry Rice stands all alone as #1 in pro football history in touchdown reception.
I feel like records are meant to be broken, but they're really going to have to sacrifice and they're going to have to work hard.
Oh!
Are they willing to do that?
Purple, Buddha Raiders. 64, Jade, spot.
Peyton Manning, I think he brought back the old school quarterback. When I first came in the league, quarterbacks called their own plays. They were in charge. They were kind of the man on the team. And then Tom Landry went to calling the plays, and then quarterbacks seemed to rely on that. Peyton brought back that sense of, hey, I'm going to be the play caller. I'm going to be in charge out there.
Double right, Louisiana, Illinois X.
I'm going to orchestrate things.
Louisiana, Illinois X, double right.
I mean, he's out there reading the defense. I mean, he knows what every person on the field's doing.
Double.
And, he'd step up and it'd be Buffalo.
Sally, Buffalo.
Or Omaha. He's doing this crazy thing.
54.
The audibling, calling plays at the line of scrimmage.
Dag, straight. Single. Lexington, single.
Calling his own game and putting his team in the best position to win. I think he brought that back. So he did change the game, and we're seeing more quarterbacks orchestrating things now.
3 Super Bowl trophies sit in the lobby of the world champion Pittsburgh Steelers. And one reason for their success has been their superior drafting.
Bill Nunn was a longtime scout for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bill was responsible for bringing some outstanding talent to the Steelers.
Bill, is there any particular drafting year that stands out in your mind as an exceptional year for the Steelers?
Well, one of the years would have to be the year that we got Lynn Swann.
What a catch by Lynn Swann.
Mike Webster.
Tight eye left.
Jack Lambert. We also got Stallworth.
Bradshaw pumping, firing downfield. There goes Stallworth. He pulls it in, and it's a touchdown for Pittsburgh.
That's one of the great catches you'll ever see.
That would have to be one of the drafts that helped turn this ball club into a Super Bowl champion.
The story is that Bill saw the only tape that they had on Stallworth, And he confiscated the tape, and no one else had an opportunity to see John. The Steelers had dibs on Starworth. What a steal, huh?
Over the years, we have been able to be successful. We go in well-planned, and generally, we're rather pleased with the results.
From my position, talking about defensive back, it would have to be Mel Blount.
Montana getting a little heat, throws it, picked off. It's Mel Blount, and he's going to go all the way.
He kind of epitomized what Chuck used to tell us all the time. Refuse to be denied. And he was that guy. The receivers had no routes that they could run. They couldn't get off the line of scrimmage, and when they did, he could get hands on and reroute them.
You know, Mel Blount, who was a big, strong, physical kind of guy, and they would get up at the line of scrimmage and they would just beat the crap out of a wide receiver.
When I first saw Mel, I thought that this guy cannot be a former cornerback. He was just too big. When they told me about the rule and the fact that you can't touch a receiver after 5 yards, it all came together for me. If Mel put his big paws on you and he was able to jam you all the way down the field, there was no way that these receivers were going to get open to catch a pass.
We played back in the day where we had no rules, so Mel could just knock the receivers around all over the place. So what do? The competition committee comes together and say, you know what? We can't have DBs like this knock our receivers around because they can't get down the field. So they got the 5-yard chuck rule, so thank you, Mel. Appreciate it.
The older I get and when I hear my kids and my grandkids talk about, do you realize that they got a rule named after you? Or my grandkids say, Papa, what is the Mel Blount rule? You know, it's pretty special.
I set out to change the game. The defense is supposed to be worried about the offense, but I made the offense worry about pride.
He changed the position.
Picked off, Sanders!
The whole stereotype was that DBs can't catch, DBs can't, do certain things that offensive guys can do.
I have seen an awful lot of defensive players in my life, but I have never seen anything as quick as this.
He did it all, man. Deion changed the game completely. Gave defensive backs a platform. We can be a face of a franchise. We can be, a face of a whole NFL if you want us to be.
Do your homework. I was the first $1 million DB. Matter of fact, let me put my address on the screen so they can send me a little something. All you DBs out there right now, send me a little something.
Could be a long time before we see another Deion Sanders.
Touchdown, Sanders! Here he goes! Here he goes!
Brother, interceptions, returning punts, kickoffs, lightning speed.
Punt returner, instant offense.
Picked it up, one man missed him, another man missed him.
Touch the football defensively, instant offense.
Get in the end zone, get in the end zone. Go on, go on, go on.
He was frightened. He was the fastest player I ever seen.
Sanders on his way, may go all the way.
Deion Sanders made great athletes look average.
Knocked down by Deion Sanders. They were going for Jerry Rice.
He made people want to play defense, made people want to play defensive back.
As a little kid, I remember getting an interception and saying, Deion, running it all the way back.
He is a great cover corner, maybe the best that ever played this game.
When you look up the word corner in the dictionary, you should see my picture. Matter of fact, let's start right now. Let's stop calling the darn cornerback position cornerback, and let's just change the name to prime. I play left prime, that means left corner. I play right prime, that means right corner. Let's just call it that.
NFL Primetime, you see I smile, I can't help but smile. There's nothing short of fun every week.
That's why they play the game.
You only got 3 games a night on your TV. So if you live in New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, pick a city. But the Seahawks and the Cardinals were playing 45-41. You didn't see any of that. Here you go. Here's 5 minutes of that because it's unbelievable.
When we were in college, we would always watch NFL Primetime. If you loved football and you wanted to see how things really went down, you would turn on Primetime just to hear Boomer and TJ go back and forth.
James Hardy, R.R. Harrison, touchdown! The Baltimore Ravens, Tom, please.
There's a sandwich here.
They drove it home.
Yes.
Like you read about. It's just football. have a good time with it.
They give it to Curtis, my favorite, Martin. Bledsoe, Vincent Ultimate Brisbee. He could go all the way and hit that end zone hard. Boom! Touchdown, 14-0, the Panthers.
I mean, if Steve Bono was playing, he'd go back to pass. Elvis Gerback going back to pass, sacked, caught in a trap. Barry Sanders is why we do whoop.
Whoop! One play, but now all of a sudden, whoop!
The players watched. The coaches watched. The executives watched. And the fans watched.
For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching.
And that's what that show allowed us to do. It was great.
Tex Schramm was really on the forefront with marketing. He was as good as there ever was and ever has been.
They appear on television so often that their faces are as familiar to the public as presidents and movie stars.
We tried to emphasize style and class in the things that we did. We tried to get as much national exposure as we could.
A very happy Thanksgiving from the Dallas Cowboy team.
Which was the main reason that we became the permanent team to play in the Thanksgiving Day game.
Dallas Cowboys, Thanksgiving, Tom Landry.
And Tex Schramm, so long, so much a part of this organization.
And we also have the best relationship with the media.
America's team possessed enough stars to fill a galaxy.
Tex Schramm was doing some really innovative things. The Cowboys cheerleaders and the glitz and glamour, and then NFL Film says America's team, and then he grabs hold of that.
America's team is in town.
All about putting a product out there and recognizing that, yes, this is football, but it's also entertainment.
We became the #1 spectator sport in the United States. And obviously now such a big attraction that no telling what we could do.
Clark Shaughnessy was one of the mad geniuses of football.
And here he is, the man who spells touchdown with a capital T, Clark Shaughnessy. The quarterback is the key man in the T.
He gets credit certainly for the T formation, but also needs to get credit for being one of the first coaches who could make football incomprehensibly complex.
Here comes the T formation of Clark Shaughnessy. Frankie Albert knocks his arm back under the long pass. It's caught down on the 10-yard line.
He had so much success running the T formation with Stanford and some of the other innovations.
These are the original plays Shaughnessy created for George Halas and the Chicago Bears when they met the Washington Redskins for the 1940 championship.
And that was a shining example of what you could accomplish with the T formation and what you could accomplish going against conventional wisdom at the time, which was single wing, 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
The Washington defense is powerless. From this day, the T formation of Clark Shaughnessy will be adopted by all the pro teams and most of the colleges.
And Marino from the New York 46, deep pattern, he's got it for a touchdown.
He's a very important part of that transition from football being a running game to what it is now in the passing league it is.
Waiting is there, he's got it for a touchdown.
He changed the game because people saw that you don't have to run it. I mean, a great coach like Don Shula, who had just won Super Bowls with 2 guys getting 1,000 yards rushing and 1 guy getting 800 yards rushing. You know, that's how much he ran the football. Like now he's got this kid, Dan Marino, and he changes his coaching style because he realizes this is the future and this kid is going to take us places.
If you could say, what is the picture-perfect quarterback, I would say this guy right here.
With Marino, he's attack. He's turn it loose. And that's the type of identity that we've taken on under Marino.
Dan Marino, the best quarterback in professional football right now, and perhaps as fine a quarterback as we've ever seen.
The '84 season, it was my second year, and we were just out there playing. It was more or less just having fun, trying to win games. And as the season went on, we were doing more and more special things and didn't realize, personally, I'll tell you, I didn't realize we were breaking these records till it got close to the end.
Those touchdown passes, 48. Most yards gained, 5,084. Most passes completed, 362. Most 300-yard games with 9. Most 400-yard games with 4. Those are all NFL records for young Dan Marino.
We were doing things that no one else had done in the past, and it was a long time before anybody did the same things in the future.
Dan was definitely a game changer. He brought football to the modern day era.